What's up, you guys? Zoeb here from OneGlanceTrader.com, and Happy New Year to everyone. I really hope you guys had a lovely break. And what better way to kick off 2021 on the OGT YouTube channel by a brand new release version of the OGT Pivot Points Indicator. Now, this video, we're going to go into everything with version 1.1. And as always, it's absolutely free. Link is in the description to pick that up. And all I ask for in return is for you guys to like this video and subscribe if you're really enjoying the content, because I produce weekly content, hopefully 2 times a week going forward in 2021. So please make sure you subscribe. Now, if you guys are brand new and have not heard about the OGT Pivot Points Indicator, again, it's relatively straightforward to pick up, but again, the tutorial video of version 1.0 is in the description as well, so you can check that one out if you need to. Now, in version 1.1, there are 2 main key changes. The first change is that we now have alerts for any of the pivot levels, whether it's the pivot points R1 to 3, S1 to 3, and we'll go through those and how you can set those up. And then the second part of this video is looking at brand new pivot point levels for different time frames. And again, we'll go all into that in this video, so let's get to it. So the first update in the brand new version is the alerts feature. Now, a number of you requested this feature, wanted to know when price hit any of the pivot levels, that it would send you a push notification, an email, or a desktop alert that when price hit those particular levels. And I don't know why I didn't include it inside the first version, if I'm honest, but I've listened to the feedback, and version 1.1 now has the alerts feature. So if I just walk you through very quickly on how it looks and where you can set this up. And the pivots indicator is exactly the same as it was in the first version. It's just each pivot level has two new lines in, and they are the alert method and the alert notification. You'll see that across all of them, they all have the notification and method of alerts inside each section. So again, you could be very tailored with this. If you only got an R1 strategy or an S1 or a pivot level strategy, you can turn on notifications just for those lines. If you're not interested in any of the others, you can have all those turned off. And the way you do that is with the alert notification is a true or false. So again, you can set that to how you wish. Sorry. And then we've got the alert method. Again, very basic, standard desktop push email, or if you want all 3 of them, you can have all 3 of them as well. And again, it's as very basic as that in terms of the alerts feature. The only thing to bear in mind is that the way that this is set up and programmed is that if you do have an alert notification set to true, it will only give you an alert once for the duration of that pivot. So for example, if you're using the pivot points and you're using daily pivot points, if price hits that pivot 10 times throughout the day, it will only give you the alert for the first time it gets hit. And the reason why I've designed it that way is because, as we know, again, I'm not going to show an example on the chart, but you guys know that price uses pivot points as magnets and could use it as potential support and resistance. So throughout the lifespan of that potential pivot level, whether it's the pivot point or the R2 level as an example, price can hit that multiple times throughout the duration of that pivot line. So I didn't want to get bombarded with alerts every single time. I just wanted one alert to know that price has been hit, and then look at the chart and then base my trading decisions on what I want to do next. So that's how it's designed. I hope that kind of makes sense. It's hopefully should be relatively straightforward. But the good news is now we've got alerts set up and also tailored in not only how you want the alerts, but also what type of alerts that you actually want it for. So I really hope that is going to add value to you guys and help you guys spend less time on the charts. So the second feature to be added into version 1.1 is the inclusion of 3 new pivot level timeframes. So if I open up the indicator again and we go to pivot time frame, you'll notice in version 1.0 that we had the daily, weekly, and monthly pivots, and those 3 pivot levels are the traditional pivot levels used out there on any charting package. But what I've done is I've included the pivot levels for the 4 hour, the 1 hour, and the 30-minute time frame. Now, again, the calculation is exactly the same, high plus low plus close divided by 3. But what it does now is it allows you to look at lower time frame pivot levels, which can be proved to be very useful, especially if you're trading lower level time frames. So again, I've got the 30-minute pivot level up here, and you'll notice that I've got the 1-minute chart of GU, and as you can see here, similar to all the other ones, it is displaying just only the pivot levels for the last 30 minutes. And again, similar to when I talked about inside the first version, is that the pivot level is hit, 78-80% of the time, and the same holds true with any level. And I've looked at this visually, I've looked at it and things like that, and I think that we can use these pivot levels inside our trading, especially if we're trading lower time frames. Now, just to show you what it also does as well is if we just set on R1 and S1 just to just to show you that again it sets up. Again, I think R1's. I don't think I set R1 up, did I? Oh, I put the R1 alert notification. Set that on there. As you can see, then it then gives you the 30-minute level pivot levels for the respective chart. And again, you can make this any way that you want. You can do 1 hour just to show you how that looks. And again, it will just show you the pivot levels for the 1 hour chart. And you can also do sorry, the 4 hour chart as well. So again, you can treat this as different time frames. Again, I've not gone into that much detail in terms of what pivot level time frame works for the trading time frame, and again, that's for you guys to have a look at and kind of work out. But what I wanted to do was kind of show how you can take the same strategy, the missed pivot strategy. Again, I'll link to that in the top right hand corner and inside the description, and how you can use that on lower level time frames. So what I've got over here is the USD CAD 1 minute chart, and just wanted to confirm I've got hourly pivot level time frame selected. And what I'm looking at here is this level of price action over here, and what I'm going to do is just take a screenshot of this. I'm going to just draw on the chart just to show you what I've got. And I've got my new stylus pen which I'm going to use, so I'm quite excited to use this. So just before I do start annotating over this, just let you know so what I've got on the chart. I've got the pivot levels on an hourly basis. I've got the MACD linear weighted moving average. I've got the round number 00 levels, as you can see there. And I've got the guppies moving averages for you guys know to give me sense of direction. And I've also included the Ichimoku cloud of that. It's a standard indicator that comes part of MT4. And effectively, if price is above the cloud, we are bullish. And if price is, trying to move the thing across there, didn't quite work. And if price is below the cloud, we are bearish. And as you can see, we are in this strong uptrend with the moving averages all pointing up and in the right direction and above the cloud. And what you can see over here, now if I start using my stylus, is that we've got 1 missed pivot and 2 missed pivot levels over here on using the hourly pivot. And what you can see is especially when the second pivot gets drawn, you can see classic, price making higher highs and the MACD making lower highs, classic bearish divergence. So this is now a signal. We've got missed pivots and we've got very obvious bearish divergence that price is looking to reverse, and we can start using these pivot levels as potential take profit targets. And there's 2 ways you could really enter this trade, and then, well, technically there's 3, and I'll go through them in terms of what is my favorite one out of them all. The first one is when price breaks the cloud. So it's part of the Ichimoku kind of strategy. One ways you can trade it is when price breaks through the cloud in changing direction of the trend. However, what I like to do is that every time price breaks out of the cloud, I look for the retracement. So what you can see here is then price breaks out of the cloud and then retraces, and guess where it hits? It hits that hourly pivot level, and then continues its way down, smashing both these pivot levels out the water. And again, you could have also waited and waited at, I think it's probably this bar over here, where if I just look at, I'll probably highlight it, be easier, is when those moving averages finally turn and start rolling over into the new way, to potentially aim for this pivot level, because this one here is a bit too close. So again, what I like to do is now that we are looking at pivots, is I do like to see a downward move, retrace into the pivot, and then going back down. But this here is a classic rollover strategy that that I talk about, and all of this took place all in, what was that, 6, 7, in the space of 3 hours on a 1 minute chart. Now again, I've been waiting for these setups on 1 hour charts and 30-minute charts, and again, this happens every single day on 1 minute, 5-minute charts, and you can start using this strategy on those levels to get more trading opportunities. Again, it does depend on how much time you have and all other different factors, but again, I would strongly recommend that you watch the Miss Pivot strategy video that's on the thumbnail screen now, on the end card screen, for you guys to check out. Make sure you download the version 1.1 of the OGT pivots indicator. Really hope that you enjoy it. Give me your feedback, like, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I shall see you guys in the next video.